An amazing week of college football has conceded, the week of 6 of college football. Sometimes words are hard, but that doesn't matter because I'm here talking about foosball. I'm no scientist, all right? So today, in this video, we're going to run down a few things. We're going to look at some memes and things and some storylines from this weekend. We're going to recap a few of the bigger games, kind of talk about that, as well as possibly get into some of y'all's comments as well. Obviously, the big games, we're going to recap Miami surviving against Cal. We have a full video on that on the channel. We got Vandy versus Alabama, video on the channel. But I think some more things came out about it, so we're going to give things the breadth that they need and maybe even look on to next week and see what these nice little matchups are looking like. So first off, I'm hoping you're having a phenomenal day. Please like this video if you like it, dislike if you don't like anything I said, and get down in the comments and tell me who your college football team is and where they're going to rank at the end of the season. Let's hop right into the business. Okay, so here's the biggest and baddest thing of all time, and the biggest and baddest thing here is that we know the Cinderella story, that is the University of Miami. Now, the University of Miami is trying to maintain some sort of, I'm not going to say superiority, but really trying to maintain this run that they're on. And the ACC seems to be full force behind this. A few Miami fans weren't happy that I had some choice words about it, even though I kind of talked about how good Cam Ward was. I talked about some of his short sides, and I talked about this team as a whole allowing this good Cal team to hang around. But when we see things like this, you know what I'm saying? When we're seeing things like clear head-to-head, schmackaroo, bang-a-lang, tangarangs. Okay, what is she doing here? Bang-a-rang, head-to-head situations here that don't get called. It's hard for people to not see what's happening, okay? But we're not going to spend too much time on that. We got a full video on that. What we do want to talk about is I want to follow the journey of the, oh yeah, we're going to get into the Kermani McClain situation too, but I want to follow the journey of the Vanderbilt, what's it called? What is it called? A goalpost. And then we're gonna get back right into the games too. But I want to show y'all that this Vanderbilt goalpost went to places and spaces that most of humans haven't gone. And of course that place is here. Beautiful. Absolute beauty. This looks fire. This honestly looks dope. Yeah, we'll get deeper into that. Let's hop into these games. All right, Texas State versus Troy. Texas State puts a beating on Troy, and they're showing that high-powered offense can do what they do the way they want to do. Sam Houston versus UTEP. That was a fun Conference USA game. UTEP is looking like a disgrace to the state of Texas. Great helmets, though. So, be on the lookout for that. Keeping moving and keeping continuing here. We got Michigan State versus Oregon. Oregon flexes their muscles a little bit, even though Dylan Gabriel looked a little bit shaky coming into it. Had 2 red zone interceptions and a few other things. But that Oregon offense, no doubt, is explosive, and that defense was suffocating Michigan State. A Michigan State team that was supposed to have some bright spots, so still looking for all of them. Shout out to Nick Marshall. I think he's still going to be a great player. Syracuse versus UNLV. Obviously, them UNILV boys trying to make another statement, recoup and reboost the same things that they said in the statements that they put out there going against Fresno State and handling the business the way they needed to handle it. As we see, Syracuse came in and handled business. Now, but let's be honest with you, Syracuse is a good team. They handle business. They stake their claim. And the group of 5, even though Syracuse is an ACC team, but the group of 5 is looking even more confusing as we move forward. Jacksonville State thrashes Kennesaw State. Nothing to see there. TCU lost to one of the worst teams in college football in Houston. They had one of the worst ranked offenses in the entire nation. And now we're getting to some real matchups. And again, I think almost all of these games have their own individual video, except this Ohio State game. Ohio State continues to look like Ohio State. Let's give some respect to Iowa, right? Iowa is no slouch. They're not no nobodies, right? They're always going to have a consistently decent consistently decent defense, right? So I'm saying that they struggled in the first half. I think is a bit of an understatement, but it undermines what this Iowa team can do and what the predicaments they put into. But after that, we got into the second half, and welcome to the Ime Ibuka show and Jeremiah Smith show, because them boys was, oh my goodness, like I don't know how Ohio State is undoubtedly wide receiver you. I don't know how else you can't see these phenomenal duos at wide receivers that just start spawning out and just dominating people. Jeremiah Smith is 6'3" phenom, just big, physical, shucking people off. Absolute, just I don't know what I'm saying. but he's a wide receiver, so I like to see that. And he's a big bad, big boy, big bad dog. Ibuka is all the finesse that you need in a wide receiver, the tenacity, the route running, all that in one. So Hartline is going to probably be a head coach here in the next near distant future. But for right now, he's not wide receivers out there, Ohio State. Alabama Vanderbilt, again, full video on the channel. What I want to talk about right here, of course, is this phenomenal journey of the goalpost. So we're going to get deeper into that at the end of this video. Arkansas, Tennessee. I am not ashamed of Tennessee, but I was wrong about you 10 boys. You know what I'm saying? I thought y'all was supposed to be the real 10. You know what I'm saying? Us UT fans, we're waiting for the Big 10. You guys, which y'all's subpar orange, waiting for y'all to, you know what I mean, stake your claim. Big SEC boys, right? Yeah, you lost to Arkansas. That's not going to do great for your bid in the college football playoff, but your uniforms are still cool. So think about that. Yeah, Tennessee just looked lethargic. Nico, because I'm not going to try to butcher his last name anymore, who I think is still going to have a bright future. Dog, it's his first year fully starting. He's going to get rattled up. You go against Arkansas, who's known to have a stingy defense as in the past. And this is something that meant something to them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the best of seasons coming into this game, 3-2. So the fact that they, really did what they did and showed out bigly because their offense wasn't really doing the biggest. Both of these offenses weren't able to really cook things and do things in an accurate way. So to see Arkansas get that one out, I think is important. And I think it really stakes a claim and really shows us who Tennessee is. And it's not that they're frauds. It's just they're a team that needs to mature more. There's a team that needs to grow more into it. And Nico needs to be better and he needs to be more explosive. Not to say that he wasn't great, and he was great even to end the game, besides that last throw there to run out instead of actually just throwing the ball. I guess last non-throw. Besides that, he was pretty good. He was seeing some things. I said okay. He was okay. That's what I want to say. It was okay. This is a offense that is claimed to be explosive, but the explosion comes from the run game. So if the run game is doing their job, Nico needs to be able to do his job as well and take some bigger, better shots. So we'll see how that transpires. We'll see how if and what Heupel does going forward. But I'm not down on them 10 boys. They're going to be coming out and they're going to do good. Obviously Georgia, the tale of two halves. I would say that, but I mean, they just got the job done. You know what I'm saying? Handled business when it came to the fourth. Boring stuff. You beat Alabama, you're not going to lose to Auburn. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen in the state of Georgia. Penn State versus UCLA. Penn State played a very physical game. I was very impressed with Penn State. As somebody who constantly talks about Penn State being this French team who's just going to end up at the end of the season at number 7 through 10, get into the playoffs and just kind of scamper out the first or second round. But hey, they look like a little team there. They look like a little team. I can't be too mad at them. So big ups to Penn State. UCLA is looking like UCLA. Miami and California. Y'all know how I feel about it. I don't think it was rigged. I do think the play calls were terrible. Not play calls. I do think some of the calls were terrible, and some of the non-calls were even worse. What's it called? So that is what that is. Missouri and Texas A&M going for 10 and 41. This was embarrassing if you're a Mizzou fan. I got to be honest with you, because y'all were, I think, supposed to be one of the chosen ones. I thought it was supposed to be one of the chosen ones within the SEC. Luther Burton, LB the third. It's not doing the biggest things the way he needs to do the big things. And I don't think that's his fault. I think that's Cook's fault. I think that's some of the offensive play calling's fault. And when you get shell shocked like this, and the game just gets away from you, I mean, at the second quarter, they were done. They were down 20-0. At that point, there was no wanting or fighting in this game. They just kind of rolled over at that point, and they just kept it moving. Going on to Michigan, Washington. As a Michigan team, you get out Big Ten by Washington. They come in there, smack you in the mouth. They had like another quarterback change because, again, Orji cannot throw the football more than 3 yards down the field, and they still just can't put anything together. You know what I'm saying? Will Rogers does what he needs to do, and Washington continues. Michigan goes down into the middle of the pack of Big Ten teams. Speaking of a middle of the pack Big Ten team, USC. I don't know. That's a weird that's a weird thing to say, but a middle of the pack Big Ten team, USC, losing to Minnesota, who is known to be a scrappy team. One of these teams that's always going to beat a team when they're not supposed to beat a team. Right for the Golden Gophers to do what they do, and they do what they do, and now they share the same record with USC at 1-2. Anyway, continuing forward. Ole Miss was upset. Lane Kiffin was dropping subs at Alabama. They go up crazy against South Carolina. South Carolina, can we pause here? South Carolina, I think by many regards, is not the team that we thought they were going to be. I think that, at least I can say, I really thought that South Carolina was going to be one of the shining stars, the new a young team in the SEC that was going to be able to do some things. Obviously, the injury to Lenore Sellers doesn't help anything. They have a great running back. They've got some great pieces on the defensive side. So I think the future is still bright. I just thought they had enough talent to already start showing that flash. It doesn't look like it. I think things are just kind of going off the rails so much that it's hard to kind of correct course at this point. But we'll see as things end up there. So I'm hoping the best for them South Carolina boys. Now, going to Clemson, Florida State. This was a bit of a what do they call it? It's like a public execution to the souls of Florida State fans, at least this season, because if they haven't given up on the season 3 games ago, they have now. You get beat down by Clemson, a rival. You know, this is a game that really means something to Clemson at home. And they just kind of looked lifeless, even though Brock Glenn added some life. Shout out to Brock Glenn. Shout out for him to be in that switch up. I think you could see the team wanted to, okay, yeah, they're trying to come out and do it. But once Clemson started just beating down on them and that foot just got big on the throw, I don't think Brock Glenn wavered, but I think this team of people and transfers, they're going to waver easily. And it's just not a great scenario for FSU. We'll see if Mr. Norvell can keep his seat there for this year, because I think this is kind of unfair. It's a lot of transfers, and you got the DJ injury and DJ playing like he has bricks in his shoes. So we'll see what happens over there with FSU. But Clemson rolls. They're looking like a scary team in the ACC. They're coming to form late, so y'all better watch out as your ACC teams, because I think Dabble is going to be able to, him and his silly khakis are going to be sitting at the top of the ACC if y'all don't get it together. Baylor versus Iowa State. Do we need to start all these I teams? Illinois, Indiana. Anyway, Iowa State undefeated, 2-0 in the big. It is Baylor, so you know what I'm saying. But hey, they're looking like a good little team right now. So watch out. The Big 12 is wide open. So look at that. Ashton Genty. Have you heard about him? Yeah, he has 1,000 yards in 5 games. Golly, dog. I don't know where y'all make these kids. This dude's an absolute demon. Replace the boy. Someone in my comments. I hope you're watching this video. Someone in my comments. I was talking about Boise State one day. They're like, "Why isn't Ashton Genty just the logo for Boise State? Like, just go ahead, put the dreads and everything. Boom, right there. Boise State. It's Ashton Genty University. That man is the offense and defense. Smooth, looking strong. I mean, I know you beat up on FSU, but Louisville was a real team. But Louisville's also has a little bit deflated coming off that loss to Notre Dame. I think that took a lot out of them. That was a big time game and a big time loss too. So you beat up on a good team that is deflated, but don't take anything away from SMU. They're looking like a good team. So they continue rolling. Again, them I teams. Indiana looks like a wagon. They're undefeated. They're looking like they're going to finish up at that top of the Big Ten if they can handle their business. So be on the lookout there. Northwestern doing Northwestern things. I don't know what to tell you. Wisconsin rolling Purdue. I think this is the Wisconsin people were saying to be afraid of, but it is the Boilermakers. So, I mean, hey, we know Northern Illinois doing what they do against UMass, Boston College of Virginia. Yeah, I got Pittsburgh and North Carolina. That was a bit of a game there. That was a fun little first half watch, and then it just kind of got off the ropes there. Navy and Air Force. Oh yeah, Navy and Army undefeated. First time they're 5-0 since 1945. I guess we shouldn't be concerned about that year. Anyway, Tulane rolls UAB, yada, yada, yada. Stanford is sad. App State is sadder. God, we thought App State was going to be a group of 5 team to make it. Toledo does what they do. We're getting to the smallest. Are we missing anything? I think all the bigger teams we got. Oh, yeah, UCF. I would say Florida rolled UCF, but you can clearly see they kind of took the foot off the gas and got into the second half and started scoring. That UCF team is not who we thought they were. Shout out to Georgia Tech for trying to recoup the season. Arizona State. 4-1? I don't think I've seen that in a long time. San Diego State and Hawaii are just murdering each other in the Mountain West. Texas Tech goes crazy against Arizona. Let's get into a few of these memes and things. Like I said, I wanted to talk mostly about the journey of this phenomenal, what's it called? What is it called? The phenomenal goalpost. We're going to talk about where it is, where it be, and where it's not be. Okay, so I think we got to start here. Wow. Well, so as you see, they're doing a surgical movement. That thing just snaps. That thing, and yeah, and they're in the process of rebuilding, and they've been fined $100,000. Arkansas was fined $250,000 for them storming the field after beating Tennessee. This I love that Vanderbilt only gets charged $100,000. They're like, we get it. They said we get it. But no, the real reason apparently Arkansas got charged more is because it was like repeated. What's it called? It was repeated examples of doing that. Here it is again as it starts its mass exodus and journey through the crowd. I mean, there were Vanderbilt people in here that were just excited to live and see this live. So that was awesome to see. Then you got it right here. Oh, this is just another angle of it getting snapped off. I thought I had a whole thing. Oh yeah, here it is. And then of course, the most important part of the journey. It does look like ants. It looks like ants carrying away a chicken tender that you dropped on the floor in accident. I mean, these kids don't know what to do. This is when I talk about the college experience and the college football experience. These kids will remember this for the rest of their lives, and I'm so happy for them. This is going to be phenomenal. Vanderbilt, I think Vanderbilt's got a good team. Again, this is the same team that took Mizzou to a close game, and then again, Mizzou's the same team that got thrashed by Texas A&M. So I don't know. The transitive property of college football says that Vandy is one of the best teams in the nation. I mean, they're better than Georgia. Okay. But right now, I think Vandy fans need to take this week, take this day. Do they have a cop escorting them? The cops are escorting them to the river. This is awesome. This is phenomenal. This is great. Yeah, my man Elixity sees it. Yo, that is phenomenal. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all watching this video, coming in with us, recapping week 6, looking for a fun week 7. Y'all like this video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you want to join us and watch college football videos. We'll see you next time.